Just got to work on it right now. We ain't good enough. Man, all right. I don't know. Okay. Not a lot longer, maybe a half a second.
That is the first time all season I feel like I've heard some sort of wavering on that radio of the 88 car.
Well, if you're on his pit box and you're looking at the lap times, I talked about it. It was 2/10 to 4/10
All right, I'm
each
back.
lap, that the 7 was quicker. So they're going to have to throw something at it. Parker or Connor might not know exactly what he needs, but they're going to have to try something here to find a little speed.
Progressive pit road is open. See the 19 of Eric Almirola getting a stop. Sheldon Creed, 54 of Taylor Gray. A lot of those Joe Gibbs Toyotas are in, including Brandon Jones. Let's cover the championship 4 drivers. Here's Dylan.
Yeah, Jesse Love got rolling there at the end of the second stage. Still was a little snug, but felt like as the track frees up, they're going to be able to contend with the front runners. Still going to make a track car adjustment to help the front turn. Tape and a full load of fuel for Allgaier to help free him up, Kim.
Bottom of your screen, Connor Gillis said, I need lateral grip, but I'm tight when I roll the bottom. Do more of what you did last time. He said, the 7 mate there's a lot better. We got to do something. Marty Lindley telling his driver, the stop's going to take a little bit longer because we got to work on it. Top of your seat, Carson Quavo said, it feels like everyone got a half second
Fast
faster.
stop for Jesse Love. He wins the race off pit road. 4 spots gained.
Race off Progressive pit road. How about the 2?
Wow.
Knocking
Huge.
it out. +4.
Massive.
He wins the battle off. Allgaier goes to 2nd. Zilic falls to 7th. Quapple stays inside the top 10. This is what it's all about. And by that much, it's going to be Jesse Love in control of the race, running for a championship as we get things going in the final stage. That's what every...
All right. Wait.
Hear this all the time. I don't need a lawyer. I can handle it myself. You might think you can, but that's a bad decision. Going up against insurance companies is complicated. Call someone who knows how to handle these cases that will get you the money you deserve to get your life back on track. If you've been hurt, don't try to handle it yourself. Call me. I've got this.
With Papa Murphy's, our daily deal specials go on 7 days a week. Because with Papa Murphy's, pizza night is every night. Score the perfect pizza with the perfect deal. Satisfy your cravings with unbeatable offers. Just take and bake. Papa Murphy's.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you can turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on.
Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Will Bing beings from another world come to Earth. Watch for signs of hyperintelligence.
How long is a galactic year?
250 million years. A love for rocketry. I remember them going up higher. Or could aliens live among us already? The Big Bang Theory.
Weeknights at 6 on KCWE. Modern Family, weekdays at 4 on KCWE.
It is always fun to say as fast as Xfinity Mobile.
You want to say that one last time?
I'm as fast as Xfinity Mobile. So that was perfect.
We were as fast as Xfinity Mobile today.
My car was as fast as Xfinity Mobile. That's the 63rd time this year.
As fast as Xfinity Mobile.
As fast as Xfinity Mobile. As fast as Xfinity Mobile.
My race car is as fast as Xfinity Mobile. Signed, and done.
We have plenty of opportunities to do that ahead of us.
I honestly don't think it's that easy to say. You know, I mean, I think it's a little challenging at times. But thanks to Xfinity, this final stage, commercial-free. I don't care if we have a caution. It doesn't matter to me. We're just going to stay here until we get the checkered flag and we crown a champion. And this is outstanding by Xfinity to say goodbye to the series this way.
It's really fun. They've been a great partner, and they've taken care of the drivers and teams, saying that all the time. And I know the fans have really dug into that and find it as fun as we all have. And it's good to remember it in your interviews.
And now our golden moment brought to you by Golden Corral, the pit stop for Jesse Love and the 2 team.
They were the 5th best pit crew ranked this season, the best of the Championship 4, and this was the fastest 4-tire stop of the season there. 12.86 for the 2 crew there for Jesse Love to get him to the lead. You can tell they're pumped. They know how big that was to put him right out front.
Think of the range of emotions that Jesse Love has been through in the last hour. That first run fading back, you're like, whoa, it looks like it's not going well for him. Now here we are starting the most important stage, and he's leading the race. It's been quite an up and down for him.
What's going through the mind of Connor Zilich right now? Marty Lindley sold that to him. Hey, we have to make this adjustment. You saw it in the left rear of that race car where they were turning that wrench in the rear window, hoping to probably make an adjustment he needed, but he's lost all of his positions here, Dylan.
And we're getting set up for potentially the longest run of the day, certainly the longest stage. Here is the game plan, at least for now, on the 2 car, the race leader.
This run is going to be a little bit longer than the next one. No, we got 2 sets left, bro. 2 sets.
Tires matter. We know that for sure. Danny did just remind his driver, you're going to have clean air here. The car's going to be completely different than it's been all night, Kim.
And Carson Kvapil currently running in the 10th position. He's been battling the handling. They've tried to make it better. Here was the conversation before the pit stops.
I think you can remind him he's not really that far off. He feels worse inside the car than it really is. We can see he's just a tick off some of the guys, but really competitive.
That's Dale Jr. giving him a little pep talk right there. And he mentioned it, like the lap times are all really close. I thought all guys was the kind of an anomaly.
He's on
We saw
Sammy
it there
Smith's
being so
pit
quick,
box.
but I've watched Carson's lap times,
neutral.
and they've been really good. Got to have a
All
good,
right, commercial
good
free to the end of the
restart
race.
right
So
here to get as
second
many as you
half,
can.
Jesse
we're going to
Love in
restart with
control,
90
takes
to
the
go.
outside
Love
lane,
and all
takes
guy are
it
on the front row.
Final
Green,
stage
green, green.
2025 underway at Phoenix.
Look at Allgaier. Gets
Allgaier
up
going
to
right to the bottom.
Cuts down to the bottom. See how deep he drives into here. We saw Zilich
Sending
do
it right to
earlier.
the inside of turn 1. He's already taken the lead.
These guys all choose the top marker, but bottom keeps winning the restart. All the analytics told you that you want to be on the outside.
Almirola
but now
trying to get
twice in a
by
row
Love
we've
now.
seen the inside prevail. You got to put that in your notebook for
Zilich
later
is
on
in
if we get a
5th.
late race restart.
Kvapil
It
outside
looks
the
like
top 10.
Inside is the place to be.
Last 2 restarts, it was a Junior Motorsports car.
Love now trying to use the bottom, just as Allgaier did the previous lap.
Last time, it was Connor Zilich. This time,
Almirola trying to work to his outside.
What we talked a lot about today is that white and green number 19, Eric Almirola.
Austin Hill, by the way, who's going for the owner's title, has been nowhere all day. I don't think he's cracked the top 10. He's currently in 15th.
But looks to me like that car is fired off this final stage really good. As you see the 88 right there, as deep in the pack as he's been all day long. They've made some adjustments to that car. We'll see over the course of the next 8 to 10 laps if they've adjusted on it the right way.
We passed halfway in this race, the longer you go and you're behind the 8-ball chasing this championship, because you just have to be the best finisher of those 4 alive for the title, the frustration will grow. You have to stay patient because history says we're going to get some cautions, we're going to get late restarts. Just keep yourself in the game.
And why did Connor sort of question Marty Lindley, saying we're going to take a little bit longer to stop to make the adjustments? It's exactly what we're seeing right now. Now he's having to work his way through these cars. He can see Justin Allgaier all the way up there in the lead. Jesse Love fighting with Justin Allgaier. And now he has Sheldon Creed and Eric Almirola ahead of him. He's going to have to
19 in the 0-0 falling back from that.
Dirty air that heats up the car a little bit. It just saps a little bit of performance, and he's going to have to adjust his line like you're seeing right now in 3 and 4 to try and get runs on these guys from when he was in the top 2.
Little contact right here between the 54 and the 88. You see Taylor Gray getting to the inside. What I heard on the radio from Connor is when they talked about, watch his hands inside the car here. See a little bit of contact. See him look in his mirror and, is he clear now? But what I heard on the radio is that he's like, listen, I'm a little loose in and a little loose off, but I'm too tight in the middle. That's extremely hard to adjust on because you need it to turn better, because that's normally where all the speed is made up at a flat racetrack like this. But if you loosen it up and you get looser on entry and exit, you can't charge the corner and you can't get to the throttle on exit. So he's like, I don't know how to tell you to make it better.
If we stay on board here down in the 3 and 4s, we probably move off, of course. If you watch him, look here where he goes. I got you a little higher. Earlier on, at times when he's running the bottom there on the line, he's going the furthest down into the paint that I've actually seen anyone do in a long time, which is he's almost 4 tires down the paint through 3 and 4, trying to find some more grip. And that's
Loving Allgaier been running about equal laps
exactly
so
what you're
far.
talking about, Jamie, where he's trying to get that car to turn in the center. We watch him on 1 and 2 here, now down the backstretch towards 3 and 4. That helps the car turn, but it can hurt your exit times.
And the guy that I have seen do that the most is who I think is the best here, and it's Allgaier. And you got to think all of these drivers, when you get ready to come to a racetrack and you study of what do I need to do better, you're going to watch whoever you think the best is. His teammate, the guy leading the race right now, does as good a job here as anybody. As you see on the right-hand side of your screen, all those guys going through the dog leg, the Sparks. That's Brendan Queen on the inside of Sammy Smith. These guys fighting for their lives right here on this restart.
Man, I know we sell him a lot, but Brendan Queen got the free pass at the end of stage 1. I mean, they were a lap down. He's back in the game now and moving through the field inside the top 20. He's the ARCA champ, finished 2nd here in the springtime in ARCA, going to be a full-time Truck Series driver next year at Colleague. And the news came out this week that Team Colleague is pausing their Xfinity operation in 2026. Big salute to them for everything they have done in the last 10 years. They have been outstanding, a huge supporter of what we've seen.
25. Ooh, Harrison Burton got so loose right there. I think Brendan's holding all those guys up. They were 3 wide and actually making ground up on him. It looks to me like that 11 car really struggling right here. You see Harrison's trapped. Can't get down. He's actually trying to give the 11 a little bit of a push.
Is this not a snapshot of the Xfinity Series?
Yep.
I mean, you can watch a guy out front and you get lost in this. Parker, you've been here. You know what it's like to be in that dogfight between 15th and 20th, and this is a weekly thing.
And it's the best.
Right, I was going to say it earlier. Colleague Racing is shutting down their Xfinity program temporarily,
trying just to find
but
some better
in the last decade or so, they've accomplished quite a lot.
Bumping into each other, sliding, and you get frustrated back here because it seems like everyone's racing
29,
each other
I think.
so
Wait,
tough. So we have a caution out.
27 wins.
Caution of the night. And the first for an incident
Which
on track.
ties for 12 most all time with Thomas Brothers Racing.
And his first career start here at Phoenix, and the 70 got away from him.
A lot of wins with Allmendinger. Great on the road courses with Dinger.
Well, we talked about these guys having extra sets of tires.
Group from
It's
one
been
guy,
about a second
Matt
of fall
Collins.
off over the course of 10 to 12 laps. So tires are as important here as they have ever been, which is awesome because it's going to shake it up here a little bit. And
you know, I'm interested about that because you got 2 sets left. And I think every crew chief down there, if we were 10 laps later,
they didn't want it to come out right now.
They would say, you know what, we're going to pit and get that first set of the 2 we have remaining. Right now, really tough call with over 85 to go.
There's Leyland at the top of the screen.
Little contact maybe.
Daniel Dye with him. That backup
Definitely.
car. Yep. And
move up, and Leyland goes around. And wow,
barely Connor Mozak just dances below. He's really glad that apron's so big down there.
The thing that I wonder right now is it shakes us up. I know we've talked about in the past flipping the stage, and if you're going for points, if you're not, I just wonder if you're the one car of Quapple, do you take a chance here, right? Because if it runs green, those tires are going to be a massive advantage. Where you put yourself in a box is if you get that caution right at the end and you haven't saved a set, your day's over.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with 2 sets there, it makes that strategy call maybe worth the risk if you feel like you're not where you need to be. If we're in the spring and you only have 1 set laying for the final stage, no way you can make a pit stop.
And we talked to Andrew Overstreet, who's the crew chief of the one, about this, and he said we're going to be aggressive. He talked about the green flag cycle, if that was a thing where we start to have green flag stops, and he might go longer than everyone else, just seeing if they can catch a caution, pull a Hail Mary a little bit to try and steal some track position. Let's take a listen to Connor Zilich's radio.
Try to see clean air. I can't pass. Up high in 1 and 2, 10th and a half better. Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna cook the right rear doing that. I can't make it last. Save it for later in a run, but this early in the run, if I do that, I'll be, I don't know. I just don't think I can. But I mean, I got to do something because I'm slow.
Well, he struggled with that the first race. He said once he got back in traffic, he's like, I just struggled to pass there.
Mixed bag. Brandon Jones comes down. Ryan Sieg, Corey Day, Brendan Queen. Let's cover the stops, Dylan.
Yeah, and Jones just asked for a little bit more drive off. They feel like they're close enough to their fuel window that they can try to make this work. So they are going to be down a set of tires to the leaders, but nothing to lose for these guys. They can go for it if they feel like this is maybe a winning move for later.
So many different agendas tonight.
There are.
We've got these guys racing for a championship, and you got others that can take a chance and go for the win tonight. If you're in that group of championship 4 guys, you almost have to all do the same thing. So most likely they came on the radio and they're like, do what the 7 does. If he stays out, stay out. If he pits, pit.
Jones was the highest in the running order of those that made a pit stop. He was 7th, and he's the first to come off the pit lane. The Whelen caution lights are on. Whelen, the official warning lights of NASCAR and America's most trusted manufacturer of emergency lights and sirens.
Well, we're going to get to fire off on scuff tires here now, which is always a little bit different. Typically, the cars take off just a little bit tighter when you have a scuff set of tires. I found the most interesting radio I heard there was Connor. His crew chief, Marty Lindley's like, look, you're a 10th and a half quicker if you're on the top, but what the crew chief can't feel is how loose that car is being on the top. Parker and maybe, Parker's worried, or Connor's worried about using up too much of that right rear.
And now let's get a message from drivers talking about Xfinity.
To be able to get into the Xfinity series is a huge deal, right? The branding of Xfinity and the way they do things is great.
Been to a lot of cool events and done some fun things. I'll remember those for sure for a long time.
Their continued support certainly means a lot to all the drivers and teams that bust their tails every week to get to the racetrack. Selfishly, I think it's the best series. It's where names are made.
Definitely the most, competitive and fun series that I've ever ran. We're truly going to miss them.
There are so many levels in which Xfinity, as a title sponsor, has checked the box. You think about their community involvement at all these different racetracks where we go, their support of the drivers and the teams, the whole faster than Xfinity mobile, Xfinity internet, and how fun that has been and what that's meant for all of these drivers. And this last week on their social channels, they were putting out the best 10 moments all time, in the last 11 years. And the way the fans embrace that, they have had this great balance of being a supporter but also relating to the fans. And the fans are very disappointed that this is coming to an end just because they have done a really good job.
100%. And I think what Xfinity has really helped is create this into having its own identity. For a long time, this series was sort of looked at as Cup Light, right? And as the next gen car came around, as you look at Justin Allgaier going to the top, just the bottom.
What is he doing?
Well, I tell you, it's old tires. It's old tires.
That's right.
There you go. It's easier to get going. He spun the tires on the initial restart there for stage 3 on the inside. So I'd have to think with the older tires, he wants to have a better momentum. Let's take a listen to his radio.
Jim, I know you wanted to ride around in the middle of the pack all day, but just being out front is way more fun. I would agree. And I was close to leading 1,000 laps this year, so hopefully I fix that.
Well, I'm going to tell you what.
Down in stats.
I mean, he's going to be 50 lead the next time around, and he is loose as a goose.
Like a running back, knowing his stats to get his bonus sort of thing.
Right. Give me the ball. I need another 100-yard rushing night.
Come on, guys.
So Allgaier goes from the outside, Love to his left, a role reversal from that last restart. 13 drivers stay out. Brandon Jones, first off the pit lane, was 14th prior to the choose. Going to be 82 laps to go in the season when we get the green flag.
And Parker referenced the spinning of the tires on new tires. That's going to be 10 times worse right now. See if these guys can time it out.
All right, time for the
Look at
restart.
Almirola tucking up there.
Justin didn't get the best start there. He spun him a little bit. Jesse really hooked up in the rear. Look at Sheldon Creed down the bottom.
Almost 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Actually, Almirola trying to force his way through out. Allgaier trying to ride that high side around.
Ryan Seats way down there. Sammy Smith, nothing out of bounds here. As
Allgaier is half a car length ahead. He's not clear of Love.
Maybe not yet. Here comes Love into 3.
Nope, Allgaier's going to clear off 4. He'll hold the lead with 81 to go.
To be able to make that happen.
I'm looking at our running order. What a night for Joe Gibbs Racing. Brandon Jones made the pit stop, so lost some track position. But Justin Bonsignor from the back is up there.
7th, my God.
And right here we see Eric Almirola, who's right in front of Zilich, and Creed not giving a lot of room.
And Zilich had a great restart right there. I feel like that's worked out the best for him. As you see, he's going to try to get back to the inside of Creed, who's been committed to really running low down through turns 1 and 2. Looks to me like Connor's car is fired off on these scuffed tires. Maybe a little better than what he did initially on stickers. See if he can slide up in front of the 0-0 right here.
Sense of urgency is up. Anytime you tighten up the field, you have a restart, you know the opportunity is there to go get you some. 88 is doing that as Almirola looks for second.
Eric to the inside of
Jesse
Love.
Love looks loose right there on exit 19. Looks just really solid. I feel like Eric's the one that I haven't seen overdrive his car. Yeah, just keeping it right underneath him.
And Eric fighting for a championship in that 19 car, the owner's championship. That's why he's pushing so hard here against some of these championship 4. To do that, he's going to have to beat the 7.
Look at Corey Day. Bounced off the wall, was racing with Christian Eckes. He said, you know what? I'm all good. Wounded race car maybe a little bit. He's in the top 10 running 7th.
It's got a composite body. The thing just comes right back into place.
Where's Brandon Jones? He's in 18th, battling Burton and Hill.
Each and every race that he's run this
16th
year.
and 17th.
A little bit of a rough start to the season, the first couple of races, but he has done, I think, a great
almost
job.
4 wide. Brandon Queen trying to poke his way through.
Trying to get 4 wide right there through turns 1 and 2. And it is very disorienting when you are going through the dog leg into turn 1. You have all these cars all over the place. You can lose your sense of place a little bit inside the race car at times. And that's when you see some contact down into 1. As you see, look how low Sammy Smith was down there. That's impossible for the spotter to spot and for you in the car to even know how far away you are from each other.
How low can you go?
Yeah.
I mentioned Bonsignor from the back. Once again, he's driving the 18 in for the injured William Sawalich. William got the concussion with that hard crash at Talladega. He's here this weekend doing much better. Just wasn't quite ready to get back in the race car. But William, great to have you here at the racetrack.
Still in 12. Bonsignor's now in 11.
In 2026. And Bonsignor has been great. Top 10 last week and top 10 today. Never seen this place.
That's what I was going to say. It's been a rough start, and he told me the Xfinity Series has been a little harder than what he expected it, but he's really just gotten to his groove. It's unfortunate that the season's coming to an end because you mentioned it, Adam. Great run at Martinsville last weekend. He's done a tremendous job here tonight. As you see, one of our championship guys, Carson Quabble, getting to his inside. Carson's kind of been stuck in that 10th to 12th place all night long. Moved up at one point, then had the bad pit stop, found himself back there in 10th
now,
again.
I was going to say, so Allgaier is a single-year champion.
And some of the guys that made pit stops are now going by. It just was a tough balance for them.
Well, you want a buffer. And those guys in the first 10 or first 8 had that little bit of buffer. But now they're catching Carson, like you said, and it's so hard to hold off tires here. Tires they didn't used to make a big difference, but they make a huge difference at this track now.
And Ryan Sieg in that 41 car filling in for Sam Mayer, who's suspended for this race. He was one of those who came down and put on tires. He's moved forward. Corey Day, who we mentioned earlier, is moving forward.
Yeah, Corey Day's, of the guys that pitted, Day's up to 5th right now and in the best position of anybody. You know, if this thing runs out green, going to be in a tremendous position.
Now we'll talk all about who's got tires and who doesn't as we continue on this green flag
George
run.
Jones 14th.
You look at those top four, they're in a really good spot. Still 2 sets of tires, and they have the track position. And 3 of the 4 alive for the championship as we continue to watch the battle from 9th on back. Sammy Smith, Taylor Gray, and Ryan Sieg.
Tell you
Love
what,
staying, keeping pace again.
Tell you what, Allgaier has not checked out on this run. Jesse Love's been able to match his lap times. Fired off a couple times on these used tires, and for the advantage that the 7 car had early on, Parker, it seems like Jesse Love is maintained it now.
We saw him at the end of stage 2. This 2 car was really fast late in that run in stage 2. And obviously, as we've gone to nighttime and the temperature's gone down, that car is starting to really come to life. And you look how much track Justin Allgaier is using right there compared to Jesse. That's a great sign for longevity in the car. You're not hurting that right rear. And that's what is allowing him to stay so close.
Move to different voice chat from permission.
Yeah, the balance is good.
That's what I thought you were doing, yep.
And discipline is the word they have reiterated to him constantly since this final stage started. They told Jesse to the start of this run, keep him in your sights, take care of your stuff. He's going to come back to us on the long run. That's our strength. He's done that. 7 has not driven away from them. They're in a good spot right now for the 2.
And the 2 car, as you watch, it looks to me like his entry is really good. You see he'll gain a little bit on the 7 on entry, and I don't see him counter steering, so that tells me that car is good and stable, able to pick the front.
Oh, goodness.
They said they were weak at early in this race. They've done a nice job adjusting on that.
Going to go inside of 70 laps to go. Whelan taking us on board with Jesse Love. And what a confidence builder
Corey Davis
is to
is
be
fifth.
for a young driver. I mean, Love's got a great resume.
60 to 69 to go.
Average finish just over 5th
Nice.
here. But he's not done what Allgaier has done. So to be able to hang around with him, it's just got to infuse a lot of energy to driver 2.
And when you can see it, when you're in the position Jesse Love is right now, that's the championship 1 second in front of you, half a second in front of you. When you can see that, I'm telling you, you're like, all we need, we're one round, half a pound of air pressure away from being able to compete with the car.
And when you hear that word discipline, that is such a difficult thing to do as a race driver. You can see it. You can know exactly.
I'm just going to say this. Connor Zillage is not winning the championship. His car just does not have the pace to win it.
Unfortunately,
it's going to come down. It's going to come down to Love and Allgaier.
And the 7 is slowly
out in front of the field. Like,
Jesse Love's crew chief.
I don't know that. And I will say this. I know Connor Zillage has been the best driver, but I would not mind an Allgaier championship. He's just been, I would say Allgaier has been on par with Zillage.
Brandon Jones has passed Carson Quapple. He's now in the top 10 on his front tires.
Fair enough.
Told me this week he actually was painting the side skirt bolts red earlier this week, and then they tape over them, but he still wanted to paint them red.
Yeah, confidence here.
Repeating itself, 2012. He always told me what the hell is a year later, let him do a championship. Last year, Jesse Love was here. This year, driving for RCR, trying to claim the crown. You check in on the 4th man when you look at the championship. Carson Quapple is back in 12th. That 4 car is Parker Reslaw.
For the championship, Carson Quapple is
right here.
12th.
Oh, my goodness.
Breakers blowing on that, a little bit of contact.
Right here.
I think Carson Quapple, it was just an unfair advantage. He has the least experience.
Kyle Sieg executing the bump and run on Carson Quapple.
Yeah, he's just here, and he doesn't have the experience.
It's like Ankrum.
Yeah. I mean, more people go after him. Carson Quapple is a very...
There's always one. Love posting back in on Justin Allgaier.
Before people go after him, he is still a solid driver. He just has the least experience. He's just happy to be here.
Oh, look at the margin. It's closing. The 2 is closed it up big time that last lap. Look at that.
Unless the 3 in front of him decide to just explode. Yeah, and then he can win it.
Everyone started blowing in. In 2026. Yeah, you can see. Look at Zillage. He just doesn't have the car. He can't even get to Almirola.
I love his there.
Love's going for it.
They better not miss the lead change.
What about this? Jesse Love.
Love to the inside, trying to get to that inside.
Just smoking that Love back. There he goes. Well, not quite. He's trying it, though.
Love is there. He is now there. He's gonna. Yeah, he might pass him.
He's on his own.
Probably stick to my own.
Make that decision to go just where the 2 is.
I'll stick to my own.
And
Love is all going to rip the inside, slide up. They'll hold on to the lead for now. The 2 might get a run down the dog leg.
Possibly now back to the outside through the dog leg. Just looking for that clean air. Going where the 7 isn't. Back to the outside. He's diamonding this 1 and 2 a little
7
bit.
drifts up.
Tries to slide up right now to cut him off. The 7's hanging on. The 7's car looks super loose. Maybe used up a little too much of that right rear tire. It's going to be really hard. 62 laps to go. Like, almost impossible to hold him off.
Not holding the inside that well.
I mentioned that when we did the onboard. He gained so much ground on entry and wasn't having to counter steer. It just tells you that car has really good stability. It's right back on board with him. They drive down into turns 1 and 2. God, it's got to feel good. Watch the wheel input right there. It's pretty steady. Look how high up he is. To the left, and then he gives you a big run. Yeah. He get a very straight run off the corner. Didn't quite get the momentum he was hoping for there, but Justin responded the prior lap at 3 and 4 going to the top. Now Jesse goes there. Justin goes back to the bottom.
Got some lap traffic coming too. That could play a huge role in this battle for the lead. 16 laps to go in the championship race.
And they probably put a little front brake in there. Maybe it's getting loose because he's having to drive harder and harder here. It looks to me like the top of turns 1 and 2, not bad. 3 and 4, you don't see very many guys able to make time up there. Maybe he can get it worked in just a little bit, just not use too much tire up in the process of doing that.
I constantly love switching gears in the dog in the start finish line. So we're going to go for the inside lane. Can't get it off down the back stretch. Well, now they got the lap car. I think that's the 5 in front of them.
Careful with the throttle, though. You hear him just pushing it down so slow.
So the 74, sorry. The Mike Harmon racing car of Dawson Cram.
Might give Justin just a little bit of breathing room. And one of the things that Jesse is doing is you can see the rubber laid down on this racetrack. That's what allows all these lines to work the way they do. And so he's just trying to find somewhere that maybe hasn't been run on as frequent as, you know, as you go along in this run, just trying to find cooler track, less rubber on the track to just get that little bit he needs to get back to the 7. Well, you chase the gray. That's the saying.
Oh,
right?
wow, I got
where the rubber is,
a lot of cars coming on the inside.
And when you catch lap traffic is when you really figure out who has the best car. Normally, if your car is a little bit off when you catch lap traffic, whether even if it's loose, it gets looser, gets tight, it gets tighter.
Get around 1, they're going inside of another.
All over the place in front of them, some high, some low.
Is that Clements?
Jeremy Clements.
Okay.
Justin's done a really good
Clements
job.
has been in every single Xfinity race. One of 2 drivers to do it, along with Kyle C.
You know, this playoff format
There's Emmerling up ahead.
So much about survive and advance to the next round of the playoffs. This little stint of the race has been about survival. When you think about having control for Justin Allgaier, so far so good, keeping that 2 car of Jesse Love behind him as they go around the 07 of Patrick Emmerling.
Ooh,
See Jesse way high.
That was not a good
just searching,
turn
like you said,
for
trying
Jesse
to find
Love.
a little bit of grip. Yeah, it's like the traffic didn't quite play in his favor there. Constantly, Justin was able to get the pass done quicker. He had to hesitate on the exit. So he's just trying. It didn't work out for him. He's doing that that very deep entry into turn 3, and it's not really helping his exit off of 4. Dylan, you have more than 7?
Well, something to know just in talking with Ian Pullman this weekend, they referenced last year a lot and how they learned that they don't have to be in control of this race at all times. They have been so far tonight, but they haven't had to force it. They've just been that good. So I think if they lose the lead here, this is one of those moments where you reflect on last year. You know that they just need to be there when it matters and win when it matters. So not dire straits completely yet. Still 55 to go and no major concern, I think, if you're the 7 right now.
Yeah. Go ahead, James.
And as you know, we talk about spotters, we've heard Justin Spotter come on the radio numerous times, but I want you to watch his eyes, because when he comes off the exit of the corner, the first thing you see right there, he looked up. He's
he's looking in his mirror because as a driver, you go in the corner and you know good corner, bad corner. You kind of get a reference for that. And then you look in the mirror to see did they gain or did I gain on them or did they lose a little bit of ground? And it's such a great reference. And you'll watch it just rinse every lap right there. Look up in the mirror just to kind of get a reference of where Love is better or maybe worse than him.
Heading toward 50 laps to go. And now
Love
you start
goes
thinking
back to
strategy. And we referenced that 87 to go when the caution came out earlier was just too soon for these drivers chasing the championship. They all have 2 sets of tires, and at some point they're going to come under green. A lot of people said the fastest way to execute the final stage, split it in half. And that's where we are right now. We'll see who is the first to give up a spot on track to make that green flag pit stop.
And it's because the analytics told them that with the tire fall off and such, but this becomes a game of chicken a little bit amongst these Champ 4. Who wants to be the first on pit road? It leaves you vulnerable.
Brandon Jones
to a caution coming
is in
out,
9th. Hasn't been able to advance much farther than
so
that.
you have to really think about this and sort of assess what your competitors are doing. And then if you're someone like Carson
Jesse
Butler,
Love's
you
probably
might
going
just
to
go
try to make the pass. Pop and run here.
As close as he's been, about 10 laps
Love
ago,
get to the
he really
inside.
went
No,
after
he
Love,
can't.
couldn't get there.
And Adam, when they talk about the fastest time to pit, it doesn't reference in when you come back on the track, or are you in traffic, or if you ran long, what traffic were you in? And I would like to pit a little short. If I'm the 2 car, I want to pit a lap or 2 earlier. Just let me get in front of him. I don't care if the analytics say that it's faster over the whole run. Let
Next
me
time
manage
by,
that
it'll
because
be
you can
50
see how
laps
hard
to
it
go.
is for the 2 to pass the 7 right now.
And if you're Connor Zilic, you want to be the first. You got to get aggressive here. You got to do something. He's
5 seconds behind.
back from the leaders right now. They got to find something for that 88 car.
The other part of this equation is all those cars that pitted at lap 115 and knowing that they're going to run it longer because they only have 1 set of tires left. And what role does that play in your thought process? Because everyone here is not even. They're not on the same strategy, and that could impact the way you think about it. If you look at our bumper, you see the laps since these drivers were last on pit road. Top
49 to go.
together.
Ah, there goes C. Ryan C. crashes. That will bring out the caution.
Caution of the night, second for an incident on track. And all that strategy conversation we were just having, never mind. It's not a part of the equation
Well,
anymore.
they're all pitting now.
Tough break for Sieg, who's riding 7th, in for Sam Mayer.
You got to think flat tire or contact right there.
Yeah, it was real early. I caught it.
How fast he went around.
I saw it out the window here at top of my eyes.
You hear him wanting to know who's made contact with him. We'll get a look at it. Look at that car.
To the back glass.
Holy
Huge
crap.
impact.
There's no rear.
Goodness.
Jesus.
Fuel cell pushed all the way up.
Ryan C. not a happy camper.
We'll see where this happened, but it
He
had to be very early
lowered
in the brake zone. The amount of speed they
Is he
had. So
hurt?
here's Christian Eckes, the 16. Get a little momentum. Oh, just right.
Gosh,
Just completely misjudged it.
Oh,
Yeah, but you
God.
would-
that
you
thing
would just
popped
think
in the
that
air.
They've run multiple laps, you know, unless the 41 lifted early, but listening to the radio, it happened unexpected.
Sieg making his 400th series start here tonight.
We know brakes can be a thing here. Possibly the 16's fighting a brake issue if we can find out some information what he might be fighting, or was it some retaliation for something that happened on the track? But I think Ryan would have then
maybe would have known who it was.
Known
I
who
think
it
if it
was
was
if he felt
retaliation.
like there was some altercation that led to this.
He seemed
But
really
the
caught off
difference,
guard.
yeah, the difference in speed you have right here.
It's such an interesting place to get hit.
Christian locked it up a little bit.
Maybe we can get some radio from Christian to see kind of his take on that.
Free pass goes to Josh Williams. He was running 27th.
Frustration inside of that helmet. How mad he is, shaking his head. I don't blame you.
Sieg, one of 2 drivers that's raced in every race in the Xfinity era, he and Jeremy Clements.
Well, this is where it bites you if you put those tires on, because you almost have to put your next set on now because of how many laps we've run. So if you get a late caution, you've used that up.
But all of our championship guys are level on tires, and we have seen pit road has played a huge role tonight. I'm not going to say this is the last stop, but it could be. And if it is, you need to get the track position, take control of the race. Almirola making a stop. Sammy Smith is in. Brandon Jones coming down. There you see Creed pulling out of line. Bonsignor, Eckes. Allgaier leading those involved in the championship. Let's cover those stops now, Dylan.
And Justin Allgaier and Jim Coleman expected to be freer on this run based on the changes they made last stop, and they were. Justin said they were almost a little bit too free. They'll make some changes there. Jesse Love said he was too tight on that run. Stockman is really, really cognizant of making it too free. Just a small track bar adjustment, Kim.
Bottom of your screen, Connor Dillard, a little frustrated. Said, I don't know what more to do. I'm stuck. I need grip. We cannot lose position on his road again like last time. Carson Cuomo at the top. Not much different. Didn't turn better.
Low for Allgaier.
Jesse Love this time +1. Zillage
Love,
gains 2.
Zillage, Almirola, Allgaier.
Loses 3 positions on the pit lane. Almirola was the third off there.
Waffle is on.
The 2 crew is on it tonight.
Yeah, the
Great
88 as well.
Yeah,
without the adjustments. 88's had 2 really good stops. 7 had trouble on the right rear. On that stop, we saw it on the screen as it was happening. Not way off, but definitely not what they wanted at this point in the race. Watch this right rear. See, he had to go back. One of the lug nuts and to get off. And he's already switched your gun, and then you got to switch it back. It's only about a second that they lost there. But it was enough to lose 3 positions.
You can tell when the front was done compared to the rear. The rear really should be ahead of the front in some respects. So that gives you the idea of how close it was and how much time they lost. As you look at Jim Pullman watching it, trying to understand exactly what happened.
Well, and probably wanting to make sure that they didn't drop the jack too soon. As you get behind on that right rear, make sure all the lug nuts are tight.
Outstanding execution on the pit lane. And despite the fact they had the hiccup, and you want to be in control, restarting in row 2, not bad for a guy that's as good.
It's not.
As
now Almirola in third. If he can get by Zillage, he could get the owner's title for the 19 car.
Return to the green flag.
And the one thing that we have seen tonight is that there's not like a guaranteed better lane. We see the drivers want the outside. The inside has been who's been on the inside of the front row has won a few of these. I say that just because Justin's going to either be on the second row and either be on the inside or the outside. But I don't know that there's one that you have to be in. We've seen both of those lanes be pretty similar.
CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by the Progressive Keys to Progress program, gifting cars to veterans in need, and by Toyota. Let's go places. Aerial coverage tonight provided by the Lucas Oil helicopter. Going to be right around 40 laps to go when we return to the green flag. All these championship guys still in it. Carson Quapple, some work to do back in 13th. But Love and Zillage, best buddies. And they're going to restart on the front row here. And they talked to us this week about how interesting their relationship is on a week like this. They said the communication doesn't stop, but they're certainly aware of what each of them is up against. And both have had outstanding seasons. And last year it was Jesse Love who wins Rookie of the Year. And this year, you know, it's Connor Zillage who's in position to go after that crown with the 10 wins and chasing a title here tonight. But it will be fun to watch them battle down the stretch. Allgaier, the veteran of the bunch, restarting 4th or at least 4th prior to the choose. Here's their radio.
All right, champ. Nice deep breath. Tires look good. They're going to be in good shape. I got the best restarter in the series here, so I'm going to rely on you to go make it happen tonight. I know you got it.
That's what you want. Good cheerleader. Yeah, absolutely. We've heard him say it before, and Justin showed how good he can be on restarts. He's got 40 and have over 40 laps to go when this starts. Very similar to one of the stage links we had earlier in the race. You see, he shows the bottom. You got to think that when we get down to turns 1 and 2 that these guys will be 4 or 5 wide. Somebody will be right against that inside wall, and somebody's going to be high.
And you talked about the relationship amongst these two on the front row, Adam. And I think for Jesse Love, I've just sensed a little bit of, I really want to beat my buddy there. Because you think about it,
Oh, yeah,
Connor's coming to the
Connor's
series.
Village in second, Jesse Love in first. They're best friends.
Jesse would love nothing more than to
So-
beat his best buddy. Let's take a listen to the 88 radio.
That's a next extra little wrinkle.
Connor, we talked about this moment today in the truck. It's here. Yeah, 10-4.
Well, Junior, I hear some emotion there.
Yep, absolutely. And we haven't seen the speed out of the 88 tonight that we think he needs to outrun the 2 and the 7, but he's in good position. We know that track position can be everything. He's got to have a great launch right here.
And I know what Jim Pullman said about Justin being the best restarter, but on our analytics and season rankings, the 88 car of Connor Zilic is the best restarter.
And he got the lead from the inside the last time he was up there. We'll see if he can do it
Go.
again.
Green. Not a great start for the
Oh,
88.
he spun the tires a little bit right there. You see the 7.
And dive down to the inside. Where's Allgaier going to go? Looks like a good run for Zilic. He takes the lead entering turn 1.
Slide up in front of the 2.
Almost 3 wide for second position.
Control Connor Zilic in front.
Ooh, it is 3 wide for second position. Allgaier, Almirola, Love. They're still 3 wide down the backstretch. Almirola peeking ahead for P2.
Wow, Justin was very disciplined. Didn't overdrive.
And there's Sammy Smith up to P5. He hasn't been in the top 5 all day. Allgaier now up to P3.
1 and 2. 88's loving it though.
That went terribly for Jesse Love there. He just almost had them clear.
Goes a little wide there, the 2 does. He's back and forth. Little loose for Allgaier off turn 2, almost at the wall. 3 wide in the top 10 down the backstretch.
You see Love now running the top, but earlier in the race, that outside.
1, 2, 3 right now, all the owners championship. Again, that 19 looking for that top spot.
Hanging in the game.
Yeah, we haven't talked a lot about
the drivers camp 4 running 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, and 13. Love to the outside of Allgaier as they head down the backstretch. And Love takes third.
It's frustrating for the 7.
Time to go. Sense
40 to go.
Is up.
Now 39.
You can feel the anxiety. 39
Allgaier's trying to stick to the inside of the 2 as they head into the dog leg. He's got a great run past the start-finish line.
Going to be in the perfect position right there. Feels good 1 and 2 though. Like he's able to run that just a little bit higher line, and watch the run that he generates on the exit again. Big
Not able to stick it off turn
You got to
2.
be careful of hurting that right rear tire, especially early on the run, going up that high. You put a lot of energy through that right rear, and you lean on it a ton on the exit. Here's that 3 wide we saw here off of turn 2. Jesse Love almost had them cleared, but then right here on roll through the middle, stays there, touches with Justin Allgaier, and that put Jesse Love in the worst position here down into 3.
Ooh, are they going to make a move on Almirola?
It's usually the dog
close.
leg where we get 3
Top
and
4
4
not
wide.
escaping
Not
each other.
2, right?
Connor Zilic, one of those guys to get 2 wide again, as he has
Waffle,
not been able to drive
meanwhile,
away all
is outside the top 10,
just identical
or he's
lap
basically
times
run
right
for
now. This point in
most
the race,
of
it's
half
taken
the day,
about 10
basically.
laps to see, have a little bit of tire fall off as you ride with Carson Quapple on the right-hand side of your screen, back in 13th right now.
Gonna need some help.
Love around the outside, going to side by side with Almirola again.
The car he needs to be up front. Jesse Love got to the outside of the 19 again. 2 cars impressive. It's been pretty awesome.
And what I love about it
right there.
is the mentality of Jesse Love to lose some ground on the restart, but then jump right
We're trying to
back
hold that inside as Love has been able to get great momentum on the high side. They enter turn 1. Allgaier trying to follow the 2 around.
What's amazing to me is Jesse Love's entry speed at times into turn 3.
Jesse Love clears for second.
Before the caution came out, how much he would gain on Justin on the entry of the corner. We heard Kenny Stockton in the race tell him he had to be more aggressive on the entries, and somehow he's able to have incredible entry speed and not pay the price on the exit. That's what's allowing him to utilize that outside to pass Justin Allgaier and Eric Almirola.
Well, and let's watch Love now. Finally got by the 19, can kind of run the line he wants. You see he chose to run kind of on the line around turns 1 and 2. We'll watch his lap times here, see if he can run down Connor Zilic, who's only about 0.4 of a second ahead as they cross the line right here.
The last lap they ran an identical lap time.
35 to go, 34.
Zilich just a little bit quicker right there, but Allgaier actually fastest car on the track.
Can make the pass on Almirola. Try to run
See
the
if he can get to the
outside.
outside of the 19. He just, gosh, if he could just pick the throttle up right there, he knows he can roll to the outside.
Got to think about this run we have right now. Basically the same distance as stage 1 and stage 2. And so from a thought process on adjustments and where the car's going to go, these guys have
Wobble's falling backwards. He's packed to 15.
Really
Where's Austin Hill?
right
He's
there.
12.
If he can put together,
the other car in
continue
the
to put
owner's
together
title
laps like
besides
that,
the 88 to 7 and
he's going to be
19.
hard to catch, a little quicker than Jesse Love. Allgaier had a bad lap last time by, I think, trying to manage getting by the 19.
Carson Quapple has started to fade here. He's back to 15th. They're going to need a serious turn of events to get back in this battle for the championship. As we look back up front here, Jesse Love trying to track down his buddy, Connor Zilich. Notices he's gotten some cleaner air. He's gone back to the bottom. We know the outside has speed, but you do hurt your tires a little bit more, especially on the exit of the corners, and especially down in 3 and 4. Dylan, you got more?
Yeah, it's just so interesting to watch how these guys have managed the race on the 2-car. Danny Stockman all weekend has said to me, he's telling Jesse it's up to him to get the car where he wants it, both from a balance standpoint and position on the racetrack for the final run of the race. Now, I don't know for sure this will be the final run or not.
Allgaier's fading.
It's crunch time.
It's going to be between
Zilich
and Love.
They worked with him on exactly where he needs to be on the racetrack, and they're within striking distance right now. This is kind of how they drew it up, and it's hard to imagine that it goes exactly how you planned it on a day like this, but it kind of has so far for these guys. Now they just got to finish it off.
Well, and a couple of things I see with the 2-car is, and you referenced this a second ago, Parker, he gained so much time on entry on that last run on Justin Allgaier. But as I watch now, I don't see that, and it looks to me like the front brakes are a lot hotter than they were the last run. That either says he's having to overslow the car because it's not turning as well, or he's loose in and he's having to use the brakes to kind of keep it underneath.
His tires trying to make pass on the outside
so he's had to work
to
through
get
a
to
little bit of
second
traffic.
place.
You got to push a little harder when you have to do that to make those passes and just use more of the race car. And that's why traffic doesn't only slow you down, but it
Less
takes
than 30
more
to
out of
go.
your race car to get back to the front to get in the position where he is now. But he's holding serve here with Connor Zilich. It seems to be maybe just getting back towards him a little bit here in the last lap.
Coming up
He
to
was
lap
a little
traffic.
faster than Connor Zilich.
Just a little bit. They kind of trade their fast laps back and forth. See, we're catching lap car ahead of Connor Zilich. He missed the bottom right there just a little bit. See Love's just a tick lower on the exit of the corner. We heard Connor say earlier, look, I'm struggling in traffic. We'll see how he can do as they catch these lap cars.
Inside of 30
Easily
laps
get around
to go.
Dawson
We're here
Graham.
the rest of the way commercial free. Thanks to Xfinity. Been that way the entire final stage.
And these drivers have really risen up for our commercial-free coverage here. I tell you what, this has been an awesome set of battles that we've seen here at the front. Classic Xfinity Series racing here in Phoenix.
Well, now I know what a long green flag run feels like. I mean, I'm used to getting breaks.
No.
Jesse's been
It'd be good if we
about
it's good not having brakes, you know? They got to run another lap car. I think that's the 5 of Glenn Reed.
His timing of
the blank
the
car.
last car he had to pass was not very good. You saw him have to slide that car on the entry to turn 1, but it sure does look to me like consistently getting closer. You see both those guys using the apron into turn 3. Car gets flat,
right up against
kind
the
of helps
wall.
it turn. 10th quicker that last lap, Parker.
And when he gets closer, we talked about his entry speed. You see it so visibly into turn 3, where he just gets closer to the rear bumper of Connor Zilich. It's exactly what happened. He was racing the 7, pretty low there, but watch him here down the 3.
Love
He
has
goes
been
to
to
the bottom
Zilich.
again. It's like he gains just a little bit there in the entry.
Run
He doesn't
in the
pay the price
outside.
on the exit.
Well, again, very, very similar to what we saw in the last run. But
Best
with
friends
Allgaier
till the
on
end.
front,
Duking it out for one
as we
title.
Get into this run 20
No,
laps
there's
in.
one that's way more
That
deserving
entry
than the
speed
other.
is, again, continuing to pick up. And the fact that he can run wherever the 88 isn't tells you that car is just a little bit better. But he could not pass the 7 car. He gets a big run
good
right here
run for
down the
Love.
backstretch.
Down the
He's gonna get to his
backstretch.
inside.
Battle for the race lead, 25 to go.
Send it in
Jesse
at turn
Love
3.
inside of Connor Zilich.
Car length ahead,
Zilich
clear.
hanging in that outside lane.
Jesse
but
Love takes the
able to
lead.
slide up in front of his best friend and
Jesse
take the
Love.
top spot. He now controls the way to a championship.
And it's getting real now. We're 24 laps to go for the championship. I promise you, inside of that 2-car, all of that's starting to register. No cautions. What do I need?
What a statement by Jesse Love. But for Connor Zilic, how do you respond right now? How do you take care of your right rear or right front, whatever one you're fighting the most, and see what he's doing and start to try to adjust? Move your brake bias. Use every tool you have inside that car right now. Under 25 to go for a championship. You've got to find something.
Well, and there he is. He's answering. You see right there, he started running high. We haven't seen him up there. We did hear him reference early in the race. He knew high and 1 and 2 was faster, but he thought it would use up too much tire. Who cares right now? Use up everything you have. You're racing for the championship. Tell you what, he's hanging with him better than I thought he would, based on how fast the 2-car has been the last few laps. Oh, it's so helpless inside the car when you're in his position. I like it, though. He's making his outside work.
And he's throwing entry speed at the corners right there. He's seen what the true Jesse Love's been able to do, getting to his rear bumper on the entry. You watch his hands. He's sort of flicking the car in right there. You see that flick, trying to get it turned earlier. Running all sorts of different lines, corner by corner, just trying to find something to get back towards. There's an adjustment on the brakes. He's liking this high line. And you have to do this. You just got to get clean air at this point. To your point about the tires, who cares? You got to go. You got to go, and you got to go where he is and find that clean air, find something that's going to work. He's keeping in touch, but he's just got to find something more than that 2's doing.
Yeah, I mean, there's 20 laps left of the race. That's 10 minutes. It doesn't matter if you use your car up right now. You're racing for the championship. If the caution comes out, we'll put tires on anyway. Do what you can to stay with that 2-car.
I think about the swagger of Jesse Love prior to this race. And we saw him in his hauler, NASCAR's version of the locker room, if you will.
20 to go, by the way.
He was
And
full of confidence.
Love's
And
lead
I
is
have
now
to
over half a
admit,
second.
when I saw him, I was a little bit worried. But I'm telling you what, he has used every ounce of that energy to come out and be successful here tonight.
Adam, think about all the work the families have put in leading into this. All these guys, when we talk to them,
Jesse Love's dad?
Jesse's dad, the emotions.
You know, today I put out a video of Richard Childress Racing win total so far. The video will get outdated immediately.
For him to be here, and now he might go on to win the championship.
I ran into Connor Zilic.
I didn't expect Love to contend.
On the way here, and they were so visibly nervous about this weekend. You think about what the nerves of the drivers, but it's the families, as you mentioned, who help us, who want to see the success happen. Everything they put into these young men's careers, they want to see them vindicated with a championship, especially when you've had a season like Connor Zilic, and now you're this close to make it happen.
It's been so interesting to watch Love get the lead by running the outside, and then he immediately went to the bottom. Ooh, look at all that rubber fly out of the back of the 2-car right there. And now he's committed to the bottom, and we see the 88 start kind of working the top and running really good lap times.
And guys, as we watch Jesse Love, the race leader here, talk so much about he and Danny Stockman, the crew chief, and their relationship this year. I spoke to Danny about that earlier today, and he said, Jesse's like my kid. You know, we're really hard on each other. It's a unique dynamic, but I haven't had this type of relationship with the drivers since Austin Dillon. By the way, worth reminding folks that Danny and Austin Dillon won a Truck Series championship and an Xfinity Series championship together. And that dynamic was showing itself again this weekend and earlier today.
07 of Patrick
Danny was on
Emmerling.
Jesse pretty hard about some things he was doing, and he's got him back to the front. Their relationship and the strength of it is shining through in this moment, Kim.
And Connor Zilic trying to track down one of his best friends. And I asked Connor this morning, kind of, what will be the key to having
Almirola going for that. If Almirola can pass Zilic, that's owner's title.
Championship guys are doing, and forget about what I need to do myself. He also said he needs to make sure to dot all his I's.
There's some more lap traffic.
Because if they do lose this championship, he doesn't want it to be on him because of the mistake he made.
Little loose off turn 2.
All night, just has not had quite the car he's needed to do what he needs to do. Right now, spotter Josh Williams just keeping it as quiet as it can be on the radio, intermittently telling him
Then around Clemens and
there is still racing to go. You still have time to make things work, Dylan.
And the best thing for Jesse Love is just that this lap traffic traffic is now starting to get in the mix and in the middle of this battle as Zilic starts to fade. They have reminded Love on the radio here just to make sure you save your stuff. They do have an extra set of tires, that's worth noting, but as we get down to it with 13 to go, we may not get that yellow. So Stockman and Brandon Benesh, the spotter who has been doing yeoman's work tonight, just coaching Jesse around this racetrack, had just been reminding Jesse, make sure you save something for us at the end of this race here if we need it. So they've done a good job here so far just to extend this lead, get Jesse to kind of a position where he can just cruise and manage his stuff. That's what he's been able to do, and that's what he is doing here with 13 laps to go, as the gap over Zilic is now up to about a second. Watching the battle for second as well.
Almirola closing it. Don't you dare buffer.
Jesse Love, Eric Almirola, who of course is in the Owners' Championship fight, going to work on Connor Zilic there for the moment. You see the 88 out front of the windshield here of Almirola. This is a unique spot for Almirola as well. Not really sure what he's doing next year. There's been some rumors that this 19 car is going to go full-time with one driver. So Eric just wants to go here and not only win a championship for his guys on the owner's side, but just have fun and enjoy this moment. He's enjoyed this year so much. Also, it's kind of a bonus year for him. He didn't expect to have as many opportunities as he did behind the wheel, and he's taken advantage of every opportunity he's got. He's been so strong here and runs in the third spot with Zilic in his sights there just ahead of him.
Thank you, Dylan. No doubt about it. It's been a great playoffs for Eric Almirola, but coming to 10 to go, the focus is going to be at the front, and that would be with Jesse Love, whose advantage now is more than a second in front of second-place Connor Zilic.
Well, Love obviously is just praying for no cautions. He's done a great job managing his race, managing his tires throughout this run. You can see Zilic.
Brandon Jones has passed Justin Allgaier.
I'm like so happy for his dad, and also feel so bad. You see, he doesn't want to look at the monitor. Look at the intensity of all of them.
How could you? How could you watch right now? The only thing he doesn't want to hear is what Connor Zilic so desperately probably wants this time, and that is the word caution.
Absolutely.
9 laps to go. You know, his dad, Jesse's
I'm rolling to the inside of Zilic.
Yeah, growing up, they're from California, and so the relationship was there as Almirola takes a peek for second.
For Connor Zilic, you see the championship slipping away right now. Trying to fend off Eric Almirola as well. Just hasn't quite
Almirola takes the lead in the Owners' Championship.
They made that big adjustment. They gave up time on pit road to do it. It just hasn't been enough. It's almost like for a long time in this season, the 88 looked invincible. And tonight, they just don't quite have it.
Same with a 7.
10 wins, the 18 consecutive top 5 finishes.
The Junior Motorsports is not going to win a single championship this year.
For the season in this race tonight, but fading late. 7 laps to go next time around.
Just keep in mind, though, we talked about this at the beginning of the race. The odds of a green-white checker are huge. We've had it.
Last 4 races here have had an overtime finish.
Yeah, so
we talk about the tools you can use in a race car right there. We heard Connor Zilic shifting down 3 and 4 as its pace is slowed down, just trying to find something.
It's not completely live.
It's so much fun and also so hard to watch.
The 70 there.
Jesse's dad.
Yeah, off the pace, Leland Honeyman, as we see 6 laps to go. I will say this, a week ago at Martinsville, it looked like this team would give up a 40-point advantage and not make it to the championship race. I mean, they had penalties, they had a bad qualifying run, they got a lap down, they scratched, they clawed, they kept themselves above that cut line. They made it to Phoenix, and once they qualified, the swagger was back, and they came here delivering a message outstanding yesterday in practice, and they have not backed off.
And I think for those in the series who have paid attention to Jesse Love at Phoenix, there was a lot who felt like if he could be a part of the championship 4, this might be the outcome. He's been so good here since his first time in Xfinity car here at Phoenix. For every reason, it fits his driving style. He told us this week, I know exactly what I want my car to do and how I want it to feel, and therefore I know exactly what to tell my race team. And we've seen that when they felt like they found something in the sim this week, it's showing up here tonight.
Think about what the 2-car has been through over the last 200 laps. They started this race, thought they had the best car based on practice, faded at the beginning. They looked like the worst car
Jesse
of the
Love has
championship
not won a
four.
race
They've made adjustments.
since
The track
the
has changed.
season
Stock was
opener
done an
at
exceptional
Daytona.
job. Jesse's kept his emotions in check. We talked about that at the beginning, and here he finds himself with a second-and-a-half lead and 3 laps to go for a championship.
It would be another championship for Richard Childress Racing at the Xfinity level.
So
and I go back 2000, Kevin Harvick driving the 2-car wins Rookie of the
Harvick won it
Year.
for them in
He
01
too
and
is from
06.
California. Comes back
Harvick in
2001,
01 and 06, Boyer in 08,
the championship.
Austin Dillon in
Jesse Love
2013,
trying
Reddick
to
in
follow
2018
suit.
and 2019.
And there is Richard, the Hall of Famer. Boy, what a fun celebration it is when he is involved. Coming back to 2 laps to finish it here in Phoenix.
Less than a minute of racing for this guy. No cautions. Jesse, you don't see this whole 2-to-go lap and thinking, just get me to the white. You know, you just want to see that white flag. This has been a longer run for the Xfinity Series. Sometimes that can mean other cars having issues, but you just want to think and hope it's going to end clean. And I hope he gets back to the white, that he can savor that white flag lap and what it means and all the hard work.
All right, Duke Love can relax, I think, within the next 5 seconds. Here comes the number 2, round the final turn. White flag is out, last lap of the season. Sometimes it takes the David to defeat a Goliath, the David being Jesse Love, the Goliath being Junior Motorsports, a team that's dominated all season. Jesse Love, who hasn't won since the season opener, got the drop on them. Here he comes down the backstretch, looking to be the 5th driver to win a championship for Richard Childress Racing. Here he comes off the final corner out of 3 and 4. Jesse Love is the 2025 Xfinity Series champion.
Xfinity Series champion.
What a moment for that family.
And I lose a tiebreaker for my fantasy league.
I can't believe.
Look at his emotion inside that car.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, that sucks to watch, man. By far the...
You're a champion, young man. You are a champion.
God damn. Austin Hill congratulating his teammate.
And here's Jesse Love with a burnout, or as our friends at Pit Boss like to call it, the smokeout. Let it rip. You're the champ.
Man. That sucks, man. That pissed me
6
off.
drivers. The 6th championship, I should say, at the Xfinity level for Richard Childress Racing. 5 different drivers. 2 for Kevin Harvick, 1 for Clint Boyer. Austin Dillon delivered for his grandpa. And most recently, Tyler Reddick in 2019. And Danny Stockman, a part of a pair of those. Got the crown with Dillon in 2013.
impressive what Danny Stockman has done with this race team the last 2 years, and this young driver, and molding him into a champion, and knowing that this was going to be a possibility. He felt from the beginning when they started working together, he could be a champion, and that's proved here tonight.
He does what Tyler Reddick did in 2018. Win the season opener at Daytona. You don't win again, and then you get the checkered flag in the finale and claim your first title.
So happy for him. He worked so hard. What a moment. Right there with his crew chief.
So
his dad's going to leave those glasses on, indeed. As I'm sure there's plenty of tears.
What a year for RCR. Got their 100th win earlier this season at Mark.
That's one pretty upset driver looking at Connor Zilich. Can't blame him. If I had this. Actually, sorry, it is the 6th title. I forgot Reddick didn't drive for RCR in 2018.
Down here in Mobil 1 victory lane, Jesse Love has had on him. His girlfriend Georgia's going to come in for a kiss. Jesse Love, first-time champion. Has been the dream. What does this mean for you? What is the emotion right now?
I feel so clean, relieved. It's been a tough year for me, and man, I've just put so much work into it, and people like my dad and Scott Speed and my whole 2 team have worked just as hard for
Wait, he only has 3 wins? So, oh my God, that pissed me off more.
Thank you to Wheelan. For one last time, this car was fast as Xfinity Mobile. And it really hasn't set in yet. I tried to just tune out all the emotion. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real at all.
Let's talk about that pass over Connor Zilich. We've documented the friendship between you two. You had to pass him, though, in order to win this championship. Walk me through that.
Yeah, he's my best friend in the whole world, but not when we're racing each other. And we race each other hard but fair, and yeah, I knew I had to take it there. I knew he was going to put on my door. I knew I had to throttle up and just try to get my nose ahead. So, yeah, here it is. I mean, he was running a really good race. My car was just better tonight and allowing me to roll the center and get off the corner better. I knew he was tongue out and wanted this. And, hats off to the 88 team and Connor for all they've done this year. But tonight's about my guys. I can't even believe it,
It wasn't necessarily an easy race. It was a little bit of a roller coaster. We didn't see you out front till the end there. How did you keep your head in the game?
We were so bad to start. I couldn't believe how bad we were. I mean, we were awful. And Danny put one of his magic wrenches in there, and we came to life. So, man, I'm just so grateful for everybody at ECR, everybody back in Welcome, North Carolina, Marty Houston, all the boys, Chevrolet. I'm forgetting a laundry list of people, but this means the world to me, and everybody that's been on this journey with me over the last few years, and especially the last probably 8 months or so. I've really tried to just rebuild myself and come back better. So I feel so just clean and relieved.
Congratulations, you've etched your name in the history books in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Thank you.
Woo!
They had the swagger. They backed it up, and Jesse Love is a champion.
you mentioned how hard he works, and you could see that, and all the people he mentioned, everyone that puts the effort behind becoming a race car driver at this level, and he mentioned all of them, and I've worked with him personally and seen that work ethic and how much he puts into this, and that's why you sense relief there for Jesse Love to have accomplished something so big.
I love the emotion. That's what makes NASCAR so awesome, is the work these guys put in, and to see the emotion from him and his dad, and obviously looking at Connor Zilisch right here, emotional as well.
Down to Dylan.
And it's a third place finish in the race today, second in the championship for Connor Zilisch. No, the emotions were obviously high. How do you evaluate tonight and ultimately just this season, despite coming up short of the ultimate goal?
Yeah, I mean, I came into the weekend and I told my entire team we got to give it our 100% this week, and as long as we walk out of this place knowing we did that, I'll be proud of us. So we did that today, and you know, we fought all day long and threw everything we had at it, but you know, unfortunately. Take away from anything we've done this year, our car's been as fast as Xfinity Mobile all year long, and I'm so proud of these guys, but yeah, I don't know, I guess the lights were too bright.
Experiencing the highs and lows of this moment, there were a lot of both. How much did all of that play into the emotion that you felt at the end?
Three weeks, and you know, I feel like we've done the best job we could all year long, and yeah, we just didn't have it today. So you know, I'm so proud of this team. We have nothing to hang our heads about, but yeah, this one's gonna sting.
Well, you can see how much it means. Ultimately, Connor Zilisch.
To him, but he will be awarded 2025 Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, great
His best buddy
consolation
Jesse
prize.
Love won the ARCA Championship 2023. When Xfinity Racing last year was
Done. That's a shitty way to end the night. Tomorrow's Cup, I really don't care who wins that one. I like all four drivers. I think there's definitely a ranking I would take them in, but for once I'll be chill with the outcome. Thanks everyone who came out today. I'm sorry you had to endure that with me. BowserJrXD signing off. Have a good one.